All right. So today I'm going to be walking around the coconut grove. I didn't think I would be talking about what I'm going to talk about today, walking around with palm trees and bird song. But anyway, I'm going to just cover off something which is quite important, business numbers wise, and that is expense numbers. And expense numbers allow us to do a number of things, but most of all, they allow us to understand the cost of our products and services and our business as a whole. And when we think of them, perhaps when we're starting out in business, we tend to just think about them as a group, as a thing. What are my costs? What are my expense numbers as a whole? But they need to be kind of broken down a little bit. And to do that, we need to understand that these expense numbers consist of our, first of all, our costs of sale. And those costs of sale are related directly to the products and services that we sell. So say, for instance, we took a workshop we were doing, planning or doing, for example. That would include, certainly if it wasn't a regular occasion, a regular retreat workshop, it would include the rental space. It might include coffees and drinks and supplies for those that join the workshop. Coconut farming. It might include a teacher to specialist teacher who you've hired to come in and do some specifics to do with the workshop. And it also will include your, what I call product service delivery fee, which is the fee for you, effectively your hourly rate or workshop rate as an effective employee, if you like, within your own business. And that is a cost of sale. I.e., you don't have to pay yourself for that if you don't run the workshop, or it will be dependent perhaps on the number of students who are enrolled in your workshop. And that will form part of your overall income for the year. There is also there are other costs of sale. It might be certificate printing or manual printing, training material printing, things like that. But they're all relative to the number of students you have or the workshop itself that you run. So then next we have your business expenses. And your business expenses is everything which is kind of to do with the running of your business, and you working on your business. So whereas the costs of sale are related to working in your business. That's the way I easily define the difference between the two. So when you're working on your business, that's things like marketing, management, sales, specifically time and cost related to doing things in a more general sense that couldn't be appropriated directly to a product or service or workshop or retreat or training session, or indeed even just a private one-on-one session. So whereas and also just to add that marketing is also, like, say for instance, ad costs, Facebook ad costs are or can be treated as the cost of sale for the product or service, which helps you with your pricing. And so the business overheads generally, though, contains things like your computer, which will be renewed every 3 or 4 years, your mobile phone, your data costs, all the other things which are related to the running of your business, like software subscriptions, online subscriptions from MailChimp and GetResponse or Squarespace or Wix, things like that. And also within that is a salary for you, like a basic salary. And that's something that, assuming you hit certain income numbers, you'll be able to maintain and pay yourself relatively consistently. So it's good to kind of get your head around these numbers, because what they actually do, they allow you to determine what we call a break even. And a break even is the minimum amount you need to do to break even. Your income and your expenses are matched. You're not losing money, you're not making money. And then you work as your business to try and make sure you exceed that, and then and make and generate profits, which can be distributed later at any point. But knowing these numbers and having a plan for how they work is really critical to a successful business, transformation business or otherwise. And it's not that complicated. It's actually the harder thing is knowing what you actually spend and being conscious and bringing consciousness and awareness to the things we spend our money on. Personally, because the business has got to pay us a salary or an income of some form in various different ways, like I talked about there: product, service delivery fee, a basic salary. And these are the pieces that need information in the form of your business numbers, which is income and expense tracking, personally as well as at a business level. And so I've been working on, I use software to do this now. I haven't developed the software myself. It's available. It's really cheap. It's free to no cost. It's not worth worrying about, but it's actually really easy to use. And that's the first step, the first foundation of being able to actually understand what your numbers are, to work out what your break even is, which actually relates directly to then the number of enrollments you need for each workshop, the number of workshops you need for each year, each month, whatever it is, as a plan. And break even pricing, all those things come out of it. So have a look at the link below, and that will go into a little bit of detail just about how I basically record my income and track my expenses and things like that. And then there's a little link there to, or will be a link if you click through, to more information. It'll either be a blog post or it'll be a session information sheet, which will give you more details about how we can set that up together, so you don't have to go through that rigmarole. I can talk to you about how your business is structured, what your incomes are, what your expenses are, generally speaking, and then we can set up these they're called tags in this software, but it allows us to really get some data together, which can then be used to really plan your business so you can understand where it is. So have a look, watch the little video that I did related to it, and make a comment. Let me know whether you were aware of costs of sale and business overheads and personal overheads and how they all fit together, whether that's new to you. It is to a lot of people, unless you're in a kind of big business environment. The concept of costs of sale is quite unusual. We work to it sometimes because we have to. You're going to be aware of your costs before you're in a workshop, but are you aware that there is also that it has to feed and pay for all these events, have to pay for everything? And there's ways to structure those numbers so that they give you lots of useful information, and it's not that complicated. It's just a matter of establishing a habit to get to grips with the numbers. And clarity and understanding is one thing that will get us closer to what we want and realizing our vision. So leave a comment, click on the link in the comments, and I'll speak to you later. Cheers.